Hello and welcome to Creative Dabblers. In this video, we are going to show you how to make origami doves into earrings. I'm going to show you the supplies that you need to get started. The first thing obviously you're going to need are these little origami doves. I'll show you how to make them in a different tutorial. You are going to need a 1.5 inch square of paper to make these, to make them this small, which is about this size right here. Once again, I show you how to make these in a different video, but for now you are going to need 2 of these, 1 for each earring. I made these with a music note paper, but you can make them with any kind of paper that you want, anything you think is pretty. Second thing you are going to need is wire. I use 20 gauge. I would recommend using 20 or 22 gauge. Keep in mind the lower the number, the thicker the wire, and thicker wire is a little harder to work with. So if you're new, you may want to use a lower gauge wire until you get kind of used to it. But again, this is 20 gauge wire. You're going to need 2 pieces 2 to 3 inches long for that. You are going to need earring hooks. Typically I make my own. These ones I actually bought. They're French style. If you prefer a different style, you can use post earrings or ones you make yourself, but whatever you prefer. You are also going to need some jewelry tools. You're going to need round nose pliers like these. You're going to need cutting tools like these to cut your wire. Optional things that you might want to use are these ones. They're crimp tools, but you don't have to have them necessarily. It just makes it a little easier to work with. You will need a needle. This one's very small. Make sure it's very sharp as well. And a couple of other optional things are a metal file. You can get this at a craft store. This just kind of makes your edges a little bit smoother, but again, you don't have to have it. And watered down glue. You'll see this is watery. I put it in a little container. Again, this is not required, but we'll get into what it's used for in just a second. All right, so I've already cut my wire. Mine is a little bit longer than 2 inches, and you'll see why I do that in just a second. So you're going to make a loop at the end of your wire, just a small tiny loop with your round nose pliers. Oop. And be careful not to let the wire get away from you, because then it goes all over the place and you can't find it. So you want to make just a tiny little loop, just like that. Okay, if you want to press it to make sure it's flat, you can do that. You want to do that on both of the pieces of wire that you have, okay? So make that tiny little loop. All right, so you've got a little loop in both of your wires, all right? Next, you are going to take your needle, and you are going to take one of your doves. We're going to start with one of the pairs of earrings, okay? Now there's the dove's head, you can see it. Dove's head is right there. We are going to need to poke a hole in that so we can put our wire through, and this is what the needle is for. So you're going to go under your dove, turn it over and go under your dove, and you want to push the needle through just like that. So see, that's where the needle is right there. Push it all the way through so you get a good hole, okay? And then we take our wire that has the loop on the end of it, and you want to push it up through that hole. Again, the thicker the wire, the harder it is, so do be careful. Right like that. Again, it is paper, so you want to be as careful as possible, and that loop is going to keep it from going all the way through the paper, which is why we did it in the first place. So you will have a little bird right like that, see? And we're going to do the exact same thing with the other one. So again, needle through the head like that, and then take our wire with the loop, push it through the head, through your hole, and just like that. Now you got 2 birds on a wire, just like that. Now the optional part, which uses the glue, which is this right here, is if you want to make your earrings relatively water resistant, which I do with all of my origami earrings, is you want to basically use a small paintbrush and paint them with this glue solution. And then what I do, and once again, this is why I use the longer wire, once I paint them, I just hook it like that, and I hang it on something to let it dry. You want to let it dry at least a few hours, if not overnight, just to let the glue dry. The reason we use watered down glue is if you use just regular old glue, I mean, you could use Elmer's. I use Mod Podge, which is a special craft glue. The reason I water it down is because if you use straight Mod Podge, it weighs the paper down, and your design could fall apart if you're not too careful. Again, these are very small, so you want to be very careful with them. So again, if you want to do that, you don't have to. It'll just make your earrings last a little longer. So we're going to skip that step for today, but I just wanted to let you know that you can do that. So we are actually, once again, not going to do that with these. So this is where you would take either your round nose pliers, or like I said, if you want to use these pliers that you don't really need, you can use those as well. I'm going to just use my round nose pliers to do this. You want to grip your bird, I'd say past the span of the wings, like right past the span of the wings. So maybe right about there, if you can see that right there. And then you want to, and this can be very tricky, so be very careful. You want to bend your wire right like that. You have about that much room there, but you want to make a very sharp bend right there. Sometimes if you hold your bird like this and squeeze it tight like that, it makes it a little bit easier for you, okay? Then you're going to take this wire, we're going to make a loop, okay? So we got it just like that. And then you lift this up and over, right? And then once again, this can be a little tricky, so please be careful. Don't tear the paper. If it's already glued, it makes it a little bit easier. So we're making the loop back under and around. So now you have a loop. See, just like that, makes a nice loop. And now to secure this loop, we're actually going to go around and around. We're going to go around 3 times, which is why you left a little extra space so that there was, see, a little extra space so that there was room to twist this wire around. And it should come out just like that, if you can see that. Now that we've twisted it around 3 times, we want to use our cutters and cut the rest of our wire. See, there you go, you're done. And then you can use your little crimper ones to just crimp that tough edge, straighten out your circle, whatever you gotta do. See, and now you've got a nice little bird on a loop there, see? Now, you are gonna do the exact same thing with your other one right there. Hold on to your bird, hold on to your wire, and then do that. There we go. We're going to make another loop over, and then you want to rotate your things so you can go all the way under. You want to do that. We're going to go around 3 times. I know it's a little hard to see. I'll show you the finished product in just a second. Alright, we've gone around 3 times. And we cut our wire here. And going to use these to crimp. And close that up. It's not sticking out. Alrighty. Now we are ready for our final part of our project. We are almost done, okay? This is where our little earring hooks come in, okay? So make sure that your dove is facing this way for your earring hook. So you've got your earring hook going that way, your dove going that way. So that way when you put them on your earrings, they will display quite nicely, okay? And they're gonna swing around a little bit, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. So you want to open up the loop of your French hook here just a little bit, not too much, so it'll be hard to go back on. And you want to put that on there just like that. See, just like that. And then you want to close that hook up so that it doesn't get out. Just like that. And you now have one of your earrings. Just like that. And we're going to do the same thing with the other one. Alright, now that one's done, and now voila, you now have a pair of Dove earrings, just like that. For more tutorials, take a look at my website. I also sell the Dove earrings, as well as the dangle box earrings and a lot of other origami products if you don't want to take the time to make them yourself. But I really enjoy making them, and thanks for visiting my website. Thank you.